We got to talk about these holdouts because this is getting ridiculous. NFL players should not be holding out, regardless of what money they want, they need, anything. You are playing football. Understand? You are in the NFL, not the XFL, not the Canadian Football League. You are in the National Football League, the NFL, the highest of the high when it comes to the American football. Okay. You guys have got to get it together. Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, I get it. Y'all are at best. Both of them are top 5 wide receivers in the game of football right now. I get it. Both box office players, but at the same time, just go to practice, bro. This is literally you in high school, you in middle school, you in little league. You're just going to practice. Just go to practice, but this time, this is why we have agents, right? This is why we have agents. Discuss the money, right? Let your agent discuss the money, discuss the extension, discuss the new contract, right? While you're out there practicing, working your tail off to earn more money. Every day you come home from practice, you discuss it over with him and see what he learned new every day from the GM and from the owner, from sitting in there discussing deals. Fine, I get that. That's good. That should be option A. Option B, nowhere to go. Do not let these players hold out, sign tendered contracts, franchise tag themselves because they know they want to go somewhere else sometimes, right? Some of these players just want, some of these players want to go somewhere else. Some of these players actually want to stay, but they just want to see how much the franchise actually values them for what they have put up over the past 3-4 years, which is understandable. T. Higgins, I don't know why in the world the Bengals have not given him an extension. Yes, it's not going to be as much as Jamar Chase, don't get me wrong, but T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, that's your wide receiver core right there. You lost Tyler Boyd. You drafted T. Higgins along with Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow had T. Higgins before he had Jamar Chase. I'm just saying, right? If you want to keep Joe Burrow happy, yes, he signed that huge extension, but that doesn't matter. You can sign money and not be happy. Andy Dalton did it. He only had AJ Green. Don't get me started on the 2010 Bengals. Don't get me started about their team in the 2010s, okay? Because we can sit here for days. Joe Mixon, Andy Dalton, AJ Green. I mean, he had so many. Drew Sample for like a few. Then you had Hewitt was on the team. Then you had Tyler Croft, I believe, was on that team. I mean, you had so many tight ends, wide receivers, running backs. Oh, don't forget about the GOATs, Giovanni Bernard over there. Yeah, yeah. They don't know how to pay players. And yes, they take pay cuts. That's what the Bengals are known for. They're known for taking pay cuts. But in this case, Jamar Chase, the best wide receiver probably in the game of football, arguably, you got to pay him. You have to pay him. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. At least he's there, right? But he's not participating. CeeDee Lamb is there, but not participating, right? He said he wasn't even going to come to training camp. Fine. He came one day, and that was it. Then you got Najee Harris running from the media out here. He ain't spoken to the media since January. He out here taking the grass to go to dorms and stuff like that. What is this? What is this? Trent Williams, why are you holding out? You made so much money. I can count. I mean, dude, yes, you're probably a top 7 tackle in the game, not top 5. But I'm going to tell you right now, son, you're not Christian Darrisaw, okay? Yes, Christian Darrisaw is better than you at this current moment. You are not Rashawn Slater. Yes, he's better than you at this current moment. You're definitely not Jake Matthews, okay? You are not David Bakhtiari, who I know is retired, but come on, give him his credit. You are not arguably the best tackle in the game, in my opinion. Not Trent Williams, but Quentin Nelson. You're not him. Okay? You need to understand that you're not going to get the same amount of money as those guys did. And given your age, I don't care how productive you are. Yeah, LeBron James, that's cool. That's LeBron, right? He's LeBron, but that's a whole different sport. But once again, come on, man. Come on. Let's be honest. If somebody should get the max or the rookie max extension in the NFL, should be AJ Terrell. That's just my opinion. But nonetheless, we're going to stay here and we're going to talk about contract discussions because I have got to know how much money Dak Prescott wants and how much money CeeDee Lamb wants. Cowboys fans, I'm just going to tell you like this. Your best bet is to ride it out with Dak Prescott. If you don't succeed by week 7, I think it's time to take some calls. Okay? Take some calls for Dak Prescott. See what you can get at the trade deadline. You flip them. If you can get one first round pick, you do it. If you can get one first round pick and a bunch of what? Third, fourth, you do it. Right? You need to be focused on drafting a quarterback next year. Carson Beck. I think Shadur Sanders should be the one to go there. Quinn Ewers. I mean, you have so many quarterbacks that are coming out next year. And not to mention, he wants $60 million. I just saw that report today. $60 million. 60. I didn't say 6. No. I said 60. $60 million for Dak Prescott. Are you kidding me? Do we think Dak Prescott is going to the Hall of Fame? I'm just saying. He might be fringe, but he ain't going. I'm gonna tell you that right now. CeeDee Lamb, he's on the Hall of Fame trajectory. Who else is on the Hall of Fame trajectory that I'm not looking at? Jamar Chase obviously is on the Hall of Fame trajectory. Trent Williams will definitely be there. Davante Adams. Speaking of Davante Adams, is he gonna get traded? Is he gonna get traded? That's my biggest question. Is Davante Adams gonna get dealt at this year's deadline or before the season? I think so. To the Jets, maybe. Will this kick off Las Vegas's fire sale, dumpster fire sale? You have, right? Michael Mayer there. I like him. You have Brock Bowers. That's 2 tight ends, 2 lethal tight ends that you could build with. Not to mention you lost Josh Jacobs, but hey, it's okay. You got Zeus back there in the backfield now. It's okay. You need a quarterback. Do I love Aiden McConnell back there? Not really, but hey, you give him a shot this year at starting quarterback and see what he can do. If you don't love him, go get somebody. You should have got somebody this year, but we're not going to talk about that. But if you don't love him, go get somebody next year in the draft. Trade up to, 2, 3, 4, whatever it takes you to go get Shadur Sanders, Carson Beck, Quinn Ewers, whoever's there, right? Speculation has arose that the Jets not only will trade for Davante Adams, no. The Jets also want to trade for Courtland Sutton. Now, I don't know how true that is, but Courtland Sutton is definitely one of those players that you look like, wow, okay, he's a veteran now, man. He's still young, you know? That's how you know we're getting old. Courtland Sutton is a veteran on a young Denver Broncos team, but he's really still young, so young vet, right? They finally paid the man. Restructured contract, but I mean, hey, it's something, right? It's something. And he can make up to $15.2 million. 15.2 for what I'm ready to hear my notes. This season, and including a $1.5 million signing bonus and new incentives next year. I love this, right? You keep a player that is your number 1 wide receiver on the team. You have him. You have other wide receivers on the team, right? You need to build the core around Courtland Sutton. You have talented young wide receivers. You have Bo Nix, the guy who I think is going to be the man to bring them out of the slump of quarterbacks. Yes, I'll say it again, that Bo Nix is the guy. He will be the man to bring Denver out of this travesty of slumping quarterbacks before Peyton Manning, after John Elway, and post Peyton Manning, okay? Because you cannot sell me on Tim Tebow. I love Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow was great for 1 or 2 seasons, right? But the fact that you have Bo Nix, he went up against Alabama, right? 2 straight seasons, then transferred to Oregon, made Oregon one of the best programs in the country. Yes, he didn't get to a national championship. Yes, he barely made it to the college football players. But at the same time, Bo Nix is ready for the NFL. He's ready to take that starting spot. Don't sell me on the idea that Zach Wilson is going to take this team. I feel like Zach Wilson should have been traded to a team where he knows he's going to start, right? Not Denver. He ain't starting with Bo Nix. I'm sorry. He's not going to win. He should have went to a team like, the Raiders, right? Anybody can start on the Raiders right now. I would have took him on the Raiders, me personally, right? You talk about a kid that number 2 overall in 2021, we thought this was the missing piece. We thought this was the man. We thought Sam Darnold was the guy. Before Sam Darnold, we thought that Ryan Fitzpatrick was the man. Before him, we thought that Geno Smith was the man. And then before him, We thought it was Mark Sanchez. All the while, Joe Namath is still the best quarterback you ever had. Nobody's ever come close to him. You can't sell me on that fact. Aaron Rodgers is the only one to come close, and he only played 4 snaps just because he's on the team. If Aaron Rodgers can bring the Jets a championship, this won't even be a conversation anymore. And I feel like the Jets can make the Super Bowl with this roster. But if you just add Davante Adams to that roster, yeah, it might be chemistry issue because Davante Adams is a hothead. But at the same time, he knows how to win. Davante Adams wants to win, and he knows how to put his differences aside and win. That's why him and Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay were so successful. That's why you see Green Bay now with Jordan Love and Christian Watson being successful, and those core wide receivers with Romeo Dobbs and Christian Watson and all of these guys that they're bringing in, right? Green Bay is going to be competitive for years to come. I guarantee you that. Jordan Love MVP conversation next year. That's for another video, but that's my prediction. He will be in the combo. Cortland Sutton, back to him. I like that he took a pay cut. I love that he took a pay cut. This shows you the loyalty. This shows you, hey, I'm here for the rebuild. I'm here for it, right? You don't have to always throw to me, even though I'm the number one target. You don't always have to throw to me. Let's get the young guys involved, right? Let's make some trades throughout the course prior to the deadline. At the deadline, if we got to make some trades in the offseason next year, we can still make trades. It's still the offseason, even though training camp started. Denver can make so many things, but they are in a rebuild mode. They can make so many things shake, guys. So many things shake. And one more thing that I want to discuss as well. For the 49ers, Trent Williams, like I said, you're not the best old tackle in the NFL. Not better than Quentin Nelson. Not better than Jake Matthews. Not better than David Bakhtiari was. Not better than Penei Sewell, who I forgot to include in that as well. You're not better than Jake Matthews either. So it just goes to show Rashawn Slater, Christian Darrisaw as well. It just goes to show me, and Tristan Wirfs. I mean, come on, I can go down the list. But yes, they play some on reserve list. I get that, whatever, right? He's not going to get $30 million per season. I don't know what he think this is. At the max, $15 million. That's only for one more season, probably 2, and then he can go to the house because his age is not there. It's not he's not the young Trent Williams that we once knew, right? He's not as mobile and agile as he was coming out the draft. Like, hey, it's age. It's age. Once again, I think he's a good old tackle, one of the best in the game, but not top 5. Not top 5. So it begs the question, does health have a lot to do with contracts? Yes. Does holding out have a lot to do with contract extensions? Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially from the player side. If you're not coming to practice, and I'm going to side with the front office on this. If you're not coming to practice, that shows that you don't want to be here. You just care about the money. That's the only thing I see this as. If you don't want to be here, yes, I understand we need to give you your money, but if you don't want to be here, tell us to trade you. 100%. You got to be willing to give 110% effort every time you step on that field, let alone practice. Don't overdo yourself to the point where you get injured and you be out for the whole season. I'm not saying that, right? Not like these rookies and second-year players who are trying to show themselves, which is good, but I don't encourage any player to go so hard in training camp or go so hard in the offseason, right, to the point where you're getting injured. And then, yeah, like even the coaches got to ease up on that as well. But in terms of these holdouts in training camp and OTAs and free agency holdouts and stuff like that, my initial thought, we got to get better. We got to get better. Got to be better, guys. Got to be better, especially as as men in men in sports. Period. Right? Men in sports. Period. We have got to get better. You're not gonna sit there and ask for $30 million, Trent. You're not gonna sit there and go to practice and then go back to your car, Jamar Chase. You're not gonna go there, right? And just not show up, CeeDee Lamb. Dak Prescott, you're not getting $60 million. You are not Aaron Rodgers, let alone Tom Brady. Hello. And then Cortland Sutton, I applaud you for taking a restructured contract. You're showing all the leaders in the world, the young vets in the NFL, that, hey, it's time for us to step up. I'm in a rebuild over here. I'm in a worse situation than y'all. Yeah, I'm still showing up to practice, being a veteran. So what does that tell to other people? Put up or shut up. Let your agent discuss the money. But you Go to practice.